U.S. Bibisitters work to sustain Israel Hamas ceasefire amid growing challenges. On Wednesday, Vice President JD Vance reported that the fragile Israel Hamas ceasefire remains in place, yet he warned that converting the pause into a lasting peace will be a formidable task. In Jerusalem, Vance sat down with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu alongside a high-profile U.S. team that includes Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff, former President Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner, Admiral Brad Cooper, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Israeli media has dubbed the delegation the Bibisitters, reflecting their mission to keep the truce alive and shepherd it into a tougher second phase. While direct contact with Hamas is prohibited for U.S. officials, Witkoff and Kushner traveled to Egypt for behind-the-scenes talks with Hamas leaders to nail down the ceasefire terms that took effect on October 10. The agreement has held up relatively well, despite a recent flare-up that claimed 2 Israeli soldiers and more than 40 Palestinian lives. Phase 2 will confront deeper issues. Gaza lacks a recognized government. Hamas's leadership has been severely weakened, and the ceasefire text requires the group to relinquish its arms, a step Hamas has not yet publicly accepted. Vance emphasized that immediate humanitarian concerns, food, medical supplies, and security must be addressed before a stable governing framework can be imagined. He toured a newly established civilian-military coordination hub, just 10 miles from the Gaza border, staffed by roughly 200 U.S. troops and international aid partners to synchronize relief efforts. The plan envisions Hamas dismantling its weapon stockpiles while Israeli forces gradually withdraw, eventually replaced by an international stabilization force, whose composition remains undecided. President Trump, credited with brokering the original truce, continues to advocate a diplomatic pathway and insists that U.S. troops will stay out of Gaza. The United States joins a long line of presidents, from Harry Truman onward, who have attempted, with limited success, to resolve the decades-long Israeli-Palestinian conflict.